Krishna speaks. If you're here, you're meant to hear this message. We created a piece live on TikTok called The Looking Glass, where we speak to deceased loved ones or spirit guides. Krishna came forward, even though we did not call Krishna forward. Krishna is associated with the crown, the peacock, the flute, the cow, the swan, the number 4, the pine cone, the staff, the lotus flower, and the pot, but mostly the crown. And this crown has many meanings. And Krishna is here to tell us about religion and about worship. And so understanding symbolism helps us to make a map and connect all the religions together so that we don't have an ideology that perpetuates separatism and dogmatic religions, which keeps us separate. Krishna is bringing Jesus, Buddha, and even Yoda from Star Wars together into one so that we can understand what it means to transcend into the perfected human and how that works and how these energies work within you and outside of ourselves. So you could see Krishna holding the staff, and the person in the art is holding that exact same staff. So Krishna and Christ are the same person. Christ is associated with the peacock. The peacock has 1,000 eyes on its feathers. When the peacock has been, quote unquote, activated, the peacock becomes a collective consciousness, and this collective consciousness is 1,000 eyes, the eye of the all. It's also associated with the phoenix. The peacock is the original phoenix, and the phoenix is about transcendence, rebirth, and realizing there is no death. There's simply bouncing our consciousness from a place of ignorance to a place of awakening and understanding, a place of separation to a place of connection and correct way of navigating our energy. So you see here, the peacock also looks like the universe. So the Christ said, you must go through the eye of the needle. The eye of the needle is the Vesica Pisces. It looks like a peacock feather. It looks like a fish, a teardrop, a flame, many things. Krishna says that gurus, gods, teachers are simply the voice of water and fire. Jesus walked on water and said living waters will pour from your heart when you follow him in truth and life. And the Holy Spirit is the flame. This is flesh and spirit. And Krishna says that when water becomes activated through following truth and shedding ego and all things that are false, you begin to become the Krishna, the Buddha, and the Christ. So becoming the Christ is basically the highest form of worship anyway, if you like the idea of the conventional understanding of worship. This symbol was also in the piece of art, and it is associated with Krishna. And Krishna talks about the 4 pillars. The 4 pillars is in Egyptian mythology, the cosmic turtle, and even Christian religion. And it's about the 4 groups of people and the 4 personalities. And the way I can correlate it is Harry Potter, the 4 groups of Harry Potter. So being in the sorting hat is a judgment. So there's an energy within you. Water has memory, and the sun and water and fire all speak to us like a frequency. And there is a judgment, and this judgment isn't what we think it is. So the reason Harry was chosen for Gryffindor was because Harry had to defeat his pain. And this is very much like Christ. When we think of the Christ energy, we will be wearing the cloak of Christ, and we will endure 7 wounds of Christ. It's a painful process because Harry kept looking in the mirror of his past. He could not forgive or let go. And so he was sent to Gryffindor to learn to conquer his pain, which was Voldemort. This is the Satan or the reptilian wicked witch. And these allegories are about becoming a mansion of many rooms and becoming a temple, becoming a lighthouse, not just for yourself, but for the entire world, and becoming a servant through becoming nothing. So the eye of the needle is becoming nothing. This is why the Christ said, unload all your possessions off the camel and go through the eye of the needle. So to go through the eye of the needle is to become nothing and then become everything. Going through the peacock is becoming nothing, and then suddenly you have 1,000 eyes on you. And these are the universal energies of transcendence and the energy of the all. And so Krishna, Buddha, Christ, and many other deities like Shiva even have an energy that you can tap into. They left an imprint on the earth. So when you tap into them, and think about them, you're not worshiping them and giving them your power. You are attracting their energy like a cloak on you. And when you do this, you will walk their path, and it may not be easy. You may not want to go into Gryffindor because it may be a very painful reality. So let's start at 12 o'clock. There's a crown with a peacock with 1,000 eyes, and there's lotus flowers around that. There is the blazing star at the throat chakra. There is the staff at 1 o'clock. There's a cow at 3, and then yet another cow going into a baptism around 5 and 6 o'clock. The 4 crowns reflect the 4 separate realities, and being crowned into a certain reality tells us where we're going, like the 4 groups of Harry Potter. The flute symbol there in the center reflects becoming an empty vessel, so that the wind of the voice of God in the beginning was the Word was God, so God is sound, and sound goes through the flute of your body, and you become nothing but the hands, feet, and mouth of the all. And you have a Shiva temple at your heart chakra, and I'm thinking that some of us need to go on a retreat and go to these temples to tap into the energy of these ascended masters, so that we can kind of really ignite the flame within our water. Because many of us have already gone through the baptism. The baptism is simply your ego dips down into your heart and becomes nothing. Your heart begins to take over and emits electromagnetic energy. This electromagnetic energy communicates with the electromagnetic energy of the sun. And this makes water come to life. And you will hear the voice of God, and you begin to obey this voice in a divine order. And when we obey this voice in a divine order, the fire comes, and we become half flesh, half spirit. We become whole, and we become awoken, and we follow truth in life, and we follow power. And this power will help to heal and save others, so that we are in servitude to others. At 11 o'clock, there's the Yoda. There is the vulture. Seems to be people watching us from over the rainbow. And there's a peacock feather. And it seems as if the world that we're living in is a mirror or an illusion like water. If we are 75% water, perhaps we are part of that mirror illusion. And in order to wake up, we must merge with the fire. And the fire is always going to bring you the Voldemort, the reptilian wicked witch, the Satan, because it's going to confront you with all that is false within you. And when this happens, it's terrible. And you need people like me and others who have gone through this and actually made it out on the other side to hold your hand and say, yeah, it's going to be hard, but guess what? It's worth it. It's like if Harry Potter was stuck in Muggle world. It would be terrible. He would never know his pure strength and how to expand his spirit like the golden ratio. So the baby on the shoulder reflects a rebirth, and the 4 individuals at around 9 o'clock wearing the white robes is reflective of transcendence and purity and truth and light and spirit. Notice one of the crowns at 7 o'clock is the peacock with the peacock feathers on the top. On the staff, it says AON, and I'm guessing it means all or none, but I'm not really sure about that. The horse at 9 o'clock also reflects that these people who have transcended are going to the spirit or the energy of power. And you can tap into the energy of power by tapping into masters who have become powerful themselves. So Jesus said you can be as powerful as him and more. So we will be learning to walk on water and heal the dead, and we will become of service to others. This is a very, very powerful piece. I'm proud to be the vessel for which Krishna and Christ came to speak to us all. Don't give up. There is a divine order to everything. Your art serves as a magical square to help your awakening process and to give you peace.